Alright, so typically I usually try to be more positive with my videos because there's plenty of negativity on YouTube. But man, this game just looks disappointing. I don't really know why, in the first place, they decided to make it to where this game just looks like a fan project, or like somebody modded Sonic into a different game. But this doesn't look right. Like, it just looks off. It looks airy and it looks hollow and lifeless. If you're not familiar about what I'm even talking about, this is the new open world Sonic game, or Breath of the Sonic essentially. And I'm gonna put some gameplay in the background. This recently came out in the last couple days, but man, it just looks bad. I think again, one of the weirdest things, and it's just super off-putting right away, is the fact that they made this beautiful hyper-realistic world and then they just put Sonic in there and some other mechanics kind of Sonic related. It just doesn't look like any of it is meant to be together, you know? I mean, it looks like somebody built a game in like Dreams, or like got access to Unreal Engine 5 and just decided to make a Sonic fan project, you know? It doesn't look real. It looks like Sonic's just kind of dropped in this environment. He doesn't even interact with it, and like his movement looks like he's just floating, or just there's no like dust kicking up behind his shoes, or like, I don't know, it just looks weird. Again, I think this is the biggest criticism I have, is just the fact that this game seems lifeless and disjointed so far. And what I mean by that is, one, just like you're seeing right here with the visuals, of it seems like they have this duality of like they want to make a Sonic game, but they also want to make a hyper-realistic game. And they can't decide on which one, and both teams don't talk to each other. They just kind of put their assets into the same game and hope it works out. And it doesn't. I mean, you have your like ruinic, overgrown, hyper-realistic world. I keep using that word, sorry. And then you also have Sonic and these weird speed ramps and rails that he usually grinds on and stuff like that, and it just doesn't fit. Plus, I just think it's funny that they have this world that it looks like it's been abandoned for so long, and then you have just these random like speed ramps dropped into it. Is that really where the money should have went? Speed ramps for specifically only one person, Sonic? Like, it's weird. Anyway, honestly, I can usually suspend my disbelief, but it's just the fact that like everything with this game does not seem to work together well at all. Another thing too is like this world looks hollow. If you watch this whole trailer through, there's like nothing to do. There's occasional enemies, there's grinding rails, speed ramps, things to run up, and then there's like little weird puzzles. And I don't know, to me, like it seems a little bit weird to have a Sonic game that's all about movement and going fast and all that sort of stuff, to really have it to where it slows down, breaks all of that flow, and makes you spend like 5 minutes on a weird random puzzle in the middle of nowhere. And that's your entire gimmick, and your entire game is just, I don't know, not have it flow together? That seems like a bad idea. The other thing was, I was just curious how the combat was going to work. The first trailer they put out, they took a couple days in between, and I was just wondering, like, is there just no combat and no fighting at all? And then I realized I should have just been more patient, because combat came out like 2 days later. But the combat doesn't look good either. I mean, it's like a chore to even watch the video. I can't even imagine how it feels to play it. All the enemies look incredibly damage spongy, and it doesn't look fun. It doesn't look intuitive. You pretty much like look like you hold down a button, you walk around the enemy like you're playing Pokemon Rangers on the DS, and then you just mash a button. And then hopefully it kills it, but it probably won't. You gotta do that 3 more times. It just doesn't look fun. I mean, I don't know. It's just disappointing, because it's not like combat is really something that's super integral to Sonic overall. But at least whenever it's there, usually it doesn't, again, break the flow. And I think that's the biggest thing with this, is like, the biggest thing to Sonic's identity is the fact that he's fast and he moves through things quickly, and you usually have fun traversal in a lot of good Sonic games. And this game looks like, yeah, they kind of have some elements of that, but it's secondary to everything else, or it's like an entirely separate different game. Whenever you do anything that's not the traversal, it's just completely, well, again, separate. Usually in other Sonic games, like, you would usually fight while you're moving fast and going through the level. So it's a lot more of just jumping and pressing a button at the right time just for you to get to a different ledge, or to be able to just knock the enemy out and keep moving. But this, like, you have to slow down and take 20 minutes to do something that isn't really difficult to do. It's just frustrating, is what it looks like, at least so far. That's like the worst way to approach it. Again, it just seems like they just had several teams working on different aspects of this game, and none of them talked to each other about what they wanted to build. It's all over the place. It is also weird that after all these good open world games we've had recently, they decided to take inspiration from Fallout 76, it looks like, and put nothing in there? Like, there's nothing. And honestly, it's just disappointing because this is a series that a lot of us grew up with. I played a ton of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle when I was growing up, and I absolutely loved that game. I spent way too long leveling up all my Chow, going through all the levels as many times as possible, beating the whole story all the way through, probably like 90 to 100 times, and listening to the cringy dialogue and music just over and over again. But it's sad to see that like the majority of the franchise just seems like it's not very good, and it doesn't really seem like it's gonna get any better, if it at least keeps trending this way. Honestly, I really would just say, like, don't spend your money on this. Not until they prove that they actually deserve it. I'm definitely not picking this up unless something dramatic changes. And even just with this first showing, even if it does look drastically better, I'm still not going to be the first person to pick this up. I'm going to wait for reviews to come out and make sure that it actually is something worthwhile, because this really just showed to me that like they don't know what they're doing. It's not a good product, and a complete overhaul at this point would be incredibly costly. So a lot of this stuff will probably be in there. I could be wrong, because I mean, look at what happened with the Sonic movie. They had that hideous design and they spent all the money to redesign everything. So maybe, but again, probably not anywhere near the same people working on both projects. But I don't know, I mainly just wanted to start the conversation on this one. So if you think that I'm way off here, being way too harsh or way too critical, let me know in the comments below. Or let me know if you think that it still looks cool and I'm just wrong. I don't know, anything, just talk to me. Wow, my voice just broke right there, that was great. But while you're there, go ahead and do all the usual. Hit that like button, just push this video to other people that might want to see it, and if they haven't even noticed the new gameplay stuff's out, maybe this will let them know so they can also see how bad it is. And maybe think about subscribing while you're there. It really helps me a lot, as I'm a smaller channel trying to grow, and I really appreciate anybody that takes the time to let me know that they like what I'm making. But that's going to be it for this one, so I'll see you in the next one.